Welcome into this Lion Vision update presented by CBNS Bank. We're catching up with UNA head football coach Chris Willis. The UNA football program opened up this past weekend with a 28-7 loss to Liberty. And coach, as we look at this game, first time playing an FBS program during this Division I transition. Third year of the transition for your program. First time playing an FBS school since 1997. A 28-7 loss. But how do you feel now after watching the film?
Well, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm into moral victories and all that. We do want to win the football game. But sometimes you got to, as a coach, you've got to take bits and pieces from each game, the good and the bad. And it was game number one of a crazy fall season, as we all know, not being able to play a football game until October the 3rd. And so, there was just a lot of what ifs, what's going to happen if this happens, and what's our identity, kind of who are we. But we also understand this fall is also about preparing for the actual 2021 season and getting better at positions, trying to see how we're going to recruit going forward, who can help, who cannot. And so this is kind of good for us. I hate using the word exhibition because I don't want it to come across like it's practice games, but we want to win the games, but we're using this to get better in a lot of ways. I mean, let's play some good competition. If we're only going to be allowed to play 4 games, let's try to get some, decent teams on schedule. And so they're a good football team, and they didn't have their starting quarterback, but I can still see across the board they're pretty solid, pretty sound. They do a lot of good things on both sides of the ball. We just made too many mistakes. Me and the coaches have been in here meeting the last, couple of days since we've been back, trying to figure out if we got the right people in the right spots and play calling on both sides of the ball. And then we got to translate that over to the players in the meeting rooms, and they got to do their part. And so it's just a combination. It's game one. We had 3 turnovers, I believe it was, one very costly one, really 2, because they scored off the other one in the first half. And we lined up for 2 kicks. One's 51 yards. We kind of rushed out there with no time, but still, I'm used to seeing us probably put those up and through, but really we got to make the 34-yarder. And we didn't have but 6 penalties, but some of the penalties were crucial, very crucial in the first half offensively. And then we had a bonehead penalty late in the second or in the third quarter that kind of set up another drive. So just stuff we got to work through. We got to coach up. I thought the energy and effort and attitudes, all of that's there. It's been good, and hope we just got to work through it.
Let's talk about how the offense fared in this ball game, Coach. Blake Deaver got the start at quarterback, got knocked out of the ball game. Rhett Files came in. 3 red zone trips, 1 score. You mentioned the turnovers, but what'd you make of the way the offense played during this game?
Well, we moved the ball at times, and we did some good things. We got down into the red zone, I want to say 3 times, and I think we came away with 1 score. But we got to be able to put more points. At the end of the day, you got to put some points on the board, and we got to find a way to get in the end zone when we get down. And in games like that, you got to make your kicks as well. So overall, I was pleased. We had planned on playing probably both quarterbacks, and so I don't know if it came a little sooner than we expected, but overall, pretty pleased. Just got to eliminate the turnovers. And you got to win the field position. You got to at least, if you're not going to score any points, you got to move the chains enough to balance it out to make them have to work to go the distance.
Coach, we talk a lot with you about the wide receiver group, Jacoby Byrd, Dexter Boykin, Andre Little, Cortez Hall. It felt like they did what they typically do, but we saw another young playmaker emerge in Parker Driggers out of that Wildcat, Wild Lion, as we started calling it. 7 carries, 55 yards, a score, a redshirt freshman from Brantley, Alabama. What was it like seeing another young guy step up like that?
Yeah, he's been moving on up the charts kind of in practice. We've been noticing him, and that's the thing. You got to be noticed. How do you get noticed? If off the field, it's with academics and community support, and on the field, it's making plays. And he's been doing that. And it doesn't matter to me what your age is. If you're a redshirt freshman or a junior, senior, we just want to put the guy out there that's working hard to put himself in position to make plays. And we got to do a better job of getting that group the ball. There's quite a few guys in that room, and it's hard to get them all the football at times. So it's a big room with a lot of big personalities and good players and good people, and we got to find a way to get them all the football. And that's one thing we're working on this week, is how to add a little bit more to what we're doing now, and that's both sides of the ball.
Let's jump over to the defense, and this was a Liberty team, an FBS independent, 11th in the nation in total offense. When you look back in the first half, Coach, very close to pitching a shutout, 3 third-quarter scores that opened the ball game up. But what did you take away from the defensive side?
Well, I thought we played really well in the first half, kept them in check. They did score off a sudden change turnover. You're right, probably could have been and should have been a shutout in the first half. They came out just like anybody else. They've got players on scholarship and they got coaches, and they made some adjustments and they kind of started getting us with the run game. And I felt like defensively we were wearing down just a little bit. They were getting to the second and third level before we were able to get the tackle, and sometimes that's part of it, depending on the amount of snaps you're on the field and how the game's flowing. But overall, I'm really pleased. I thought we held up against the pass. Our pass defense held up really well. Once again, I know they were with their backup quarterback, but still, I mean, he's a scholarship player that was recruited, I think transferred in there from UMass, and he's got a great arm. And we had some new people in the secondary, so that was a learning curve back there. Had redshirt freshman Fegans playing at one corner, and Green, that was his first game. And so we had KJ Smith playing some corner, some safety, some nickel. He moved all over the place. So I think we're trying to get a feel for what we're doing on that side of the ball, and I know Coach would like to add a few things as we move forward, and we've got a week here to try to prepare for that.
A couple of players that stood out. Wallace Cowens Jr., defensive end, Coach, 9 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Couple big third down plays. KJ Smith had the interception that set up the score, the Big South Conference Scholar Athlete of the Year. 2 seniors, 2 leaders, 2 guys that may have a chance to go into the next level. What was it like seeing them come up with the big plays and big opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, those guys work hard and they put in their time and they want to play football. They love getting out there doing it. And, they got both of those were voted team captains. So it's, 3 of our player of the games came from our team captain votes by our team. Cortez Hall was offensive player of the game, and Wallace and KJ shared the honors of defense. So great game by all 3 of those men.
Moving forward, next game will be October 17th against Jacksonville State at Brawley Stadium, a 1 p.m. kick. Coach, a bye week after finally opening up this season. What's the schedule moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little odd. It's a little different. I think, kind of fibbing here if I tell you, I wish we were playing this week. I mean, anytime you come off a game, especially like a game that you didn't win or a game, this was your first game, you're almost ready to go back out there and get after it. And but we got to, it is what it is. We know the schedule, how it's laid out. It's an odd-some, fall, and let's just hope we get that game played. That's kind of the way we feel right now. Let's get through all the testing and stuff, and let's hope that game gets kicked off at 1 o'clock on that Saturday. But what we'll do this week, the players are off on Monday. We'll come in and have a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice. And we'll do some things for ourselves and clean up some mistakes on our end, but we'll also look towards Jacksonville State. And then we'll give the guys probably Friday and Saturday off and then come back in on Sunday and get after it. So they're going to get some time off and some rest time here because we have been grinding through the month of September. We just haven't been playing any games. And we'll hopefully have a good plan ready to go. For more information on the Jacksonville State game, on some of the changes, be sure and visit roarlions.com.